Welcome, everyone. This is your host, Ashley, the Boot Babe, and I had a chance to catch up with Nick Luciano at the National Finals Rodeo. Nick has an unbelievable social media following that he's cultivated, and his story is very unique. I was able to interview him for the Cowboy Boot podcast. We talked about where he got his first pair of boots and some other really fun things. So I hope you enjoy this interview. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And just remember, it's always cool to wear cowboy boots. Hey, it's Ashley, and we are live on the Cowboy Boot podcast with the one and only Nick Luciano. How's it going after 10 days in Vegas?
I'm very tired and I'm ready to go home.
You look like you're going to be done. You're going to pack up here in a minute.
I've had enough caffeine to kill a horse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But you do have a pretty badass jacket on.
Thank you. Just got it from Rodeo Vegas.
Yeah, the Furka jacket.
The famous Perka jacket.
You guys are so funny.
Everybody comes up to us and they're like, I like your Perka jacket.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
funny.
You'd have a whole series about it.
Yeah, we're going to do another video over it.
You are.
Uh,
How did you get into all this?
like social media?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been recording myself since I was like 11 or so. And it started off with like basketball trick shots, really. I was inspired by Dude Perfect. And then I watched a lot of YouTube vloggers growing up and always wanted to do it, but was always like in my head about I couldn't do it because my parents were like, that's not something you can do for a living. So I went down the engineering path and I got my degree in mechanical engineering. And I did that for a little bit and I wasn't passionate about it. And then COVID hit and I just started making TikToks and I started making money. And I was like, you know what? If I actually give 100% into this, I can go full time. And that's pretty much what happened.
That's really interesting, actually,
Mhm.
because a lot of people want to get into it, but there's no secret.
No, it's like a lot of people want to get into it, but they don't realize how much work it is. It is like a full-time job.
Yeah. How many
If-
hours a day do you think you work?
It depends on the week. There's some days where I'm in my office like 12, 14 hours, just getting stuff done, then being prepared to be on the road, and then also trying to get out and be active, work out, and work on my cap roping and stuff. It's definitely challenging, but I wouldn't trade the self-employed entrepreneur life for anything.
Yeah.
It's like my dream.
I think that's a good dream to have.
Yeah.
A lot of people you guys put out a lot of positive content
Uh-huh.
and things that help people and be inspired. And a lot of people
Yeah.
want to get out of their 9-to-5 job right now.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Tell a little bit about how you would encourage someone to do that.
I wouldn't encourage somebody to do that by just giving. I'm a Christian and the Lord works in your life, but the more you lean on Him and what He has in store for you rather than trying to force your ways, you'll find things work out in crazy ways. One, just have faith that it's going to work. And two, you need to have a mindset that it will work. Don't look at every setback as a failure. Look at it as knowledge to go forward. There's no such thing as failing. You can only fail forward. I would just encourage anybody that wants to get out of the 9-to-5, find something you're passionate about. Find something that you would wake up every day and do for free and give it your all, but be selfless about it. Don't be selfish, because if you're in it for the money, then you're gonna fail.
Good advice.
Yeah, I could go on. I could go on all day about that.
I saw you started a mental wellness
Uh-huh.
community on
Yeah.
social media. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's been a blessing in disguise, because we were just talking about it. I'm like an introverted extrovert. I'm extroverted until my social battery runs out, and then I'm gotta recharge. But
They call them ambiverts, and it's actually a
Ambiverts?
real word, an ambivert.
oh
And it's the middle of the road, right? You appear to be extroverted, but you have
Yeah.
to recharge alone.
oh yeah, 100%. I gotta be by myself. I love my alone time. But the mental wellness community has actually been something that I felt like was missing from my life. Whether I could, that I can pour into people. I wish that a lot of people would realize that life isn't easy. And the more you can do it with community behind you, the better shot you have at making it. Because there's a lot of people who, you look at the suicide rate nowadays, and a lot of it's men, it's crazy. And I think I always wanted to build a community for people to have a place to call home where they feel like they can talk about their problems. They feel like they can have a sense of community and not only just talk about your problems, but learn how to face them. Because a lot of people, you can have friends, right? And you can have a friend group that just goes out and parties all week and is just stagnant in life, works their 9 to 5 and just goes home and eats dinner and goes to bed, right? But if you want to like go to the next level in life, you need to be around people that are next level. That's what I'm trying to create. And it's just been a blessing too, because they're such good people. With social media, you always take a gamble with who's going to join. But for example, when I got Bullet, my dog, and rescued him, they created an Amazon wish list in the first 10 minutes and 60 items on there. Everything was bought within the first day. And if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done. Because dog stuff is expensive.
Yeah, that's so
So
amazing though that you have a community of people. And so how many
Mhm.
people are in the community right now?
right now we have 120 members and we're building, I would do more, but we're building out like structure because it's just a lot to keep up with. But 120 people, we do Zoom calls every week. We have life coaches on, mental toughness professionals on, and a lot of people have been realizing a lot about themselves. So
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
this. I'm all in and I'm all for this. Where'd you get your first pair of cowboy boots?
At the Justin outlet,
How old were you?
I was 18.
Have
I
you always
think.
been a cowboy?
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
grew up in Maryland on the East Coast. I'm in like country, so to speak, but there's something about, I'm part of an internet generation and I was immersed in, oh, be a celebrity, be this, be that. Like you have to be famous. And not that I wanted to be famous, but I knew that it was thrown in my face that you had to be a certain way from a young age.
What
And
way?
like popular. So you try to fit in with all the friend groups. And then I was always trying to do that in high school. And then I finally moved out to Texas and I found the Western way of life where it's like, it's not like that. It's as much as people from the outside want to like gatekeep or whatever. Most people are pretty cool and pretty willing to learn and teach you. So I just fell in love with the lifestyle and realized that I didn't really want all that, but knew I still wanted a platform to inspire people. So that's where I bridged it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
It makes you see you totally differently.
Yeah.
And it helps people see you differently because a lot of people don't have experience in the cowboy way of life.
Uh-huh.
I grew up on a horse ranch in the middle of nowhere, Idaho. My dad's an
Yeah.
outfitter, so he packs people into the mountains.
Uh-huh.
It's a lost art. And teaching people about that has been challenging because a lot of people gatekeep. They don't want people in that industry,
Yeah.
right? Then you're going to shoot their animals or whatever. I don't know what it is. But the mentality has really struggled to, even in the core Western community, to be inviting.
Oh, yeah.
So what is your message to people who are wanting to get into it?
I would say just don't give a flip what other people think. That's like my slogan for my brand is Bulletproof Mindset. And at your core, when you know who you are and what you stand for and what you want to do and who you want to be, then it really doesn't matter what other people think. But you need to look at yourself from a perspective of what do you think about you, not what does so-and-so think about you. I was doing this thing on social media the other day where like we're a twice reflected image where I'm not what you think I am, what other people think I am. And that's just human nature. And that all has to do with, where you root your faith. And that's why I root my faith in God, because when you root your faith in the world, it's going to let you down. And that's why I'm blessed to be a part of this community, because it's like, it's all about faith. It's about camaraderie. It's about hard work. It's about determination. It's about grit. And there's so many different facets where you can, and you don't have to do a certain discipline. You don't have to, be a world champion athlete. You can just be in the lifestyle and support the lifestyle in a positive way.
Right. I call it the Western culture.
Yes.
And the NFR culture. And I explain to people that there's all sorts of parts of the culture.
Yeah.
And once you get outside of America, there's culture.
Oh, yeah.
And America lacks a little bit of eccentric culture, and explaining that to people that these facets are not competitions. Influencers are not competing with the rodeo athletes here.
Oh, yeah.
But people get that perception when they watch our community a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do we avoid that? Or where does this go from here?
I think we need to work on bridging the gap and realize that this community doesn't go forward. This culture doesn't go forward if we don't keep adding to it. If we just keep things the way they are the entire time, it's going to move forward. And it's like that saying, what's the definition of insanity, repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But I do think that there's been a lot of change and a lot of growth. And even though social media has its cons, it definitely has its pros with outreach.
Yeah.
With the brands I work with the arise of these platforms, we're able to reach people that wouldn't even know about Western culture, which is huge. It's not something to run from or be scared of, something to embrace so that way we can move forward.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. Tell me a little bit about the brands you work with.
Our main sponsor is Ariat, and then I work with my own brand and Tratter House, and the mix of those three kind of make up our socials.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Tell me you love Ariat. Why?
I love Ariat because they're like family. They're one of the best brands out there. You get one of the coolest things that they integrate into the products is free lifetime warranty on your boots. So if your boots get a hole in them or you wear them out, you can just send them back and get a new pair.
Is that real? Even
Yeah.
leather soles?
Yeah, any boot. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But don't fact check me on that. I think it is every boot.
We're gonna
Fact. You are the boot babe. Fact check on that. And yeah, they feel like family because they've took us in as influencers and being the quote unquote the most followed influencers in the culture. They took a shot on us to represent them in a good light, and we've done awesome things for them. We've represented them at FF. We went to their sales meeting, and even as influencers, it really meant a lot to us as influencers because Roy was a rodeo athlete, Blake farms, and I'm learning to be a rodeo athlete, and they still took our input into account. We were in the room with Trevor Brazil and Kaiki Pacheco and all those people, world champs, and they took our info and our feedback just like they would world champs.
Yeah.
So that just really shows who they are as a brand because they're not just focused on one person, they're focused on everybody and uplifting the community as a whole.
That's good consumer research.
Yeah, 100%. Because a farmer, the Ariat rebar line is going to be way different than just regular Ariat stuff.
Right. Leather soles Cowboy, way different.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Tell me about a time when you radically changed your mind about something.
When I radically changed my mind about something? Oh man, it was in college. In college, I always thought I wasn't smart enough. I always thought I wasn't good enough. And I don't know what clicked. Honestly, what clicked was me moving out on my own and learning to be alone by myself. And when I learned how to be alone with my thoughts and myself, I could empower myself. And when I empowered myself, I learned that my mind and my body is as strong as I think it is. If I control my mind and my thoughts, I can control my entire destiny. In college, there was a point where I transferred to UNT and I'm prescribed Adderall and Vyvanse because I have ADHD, and I thought I would need those things to get work done. But I really changed my mind and let my mind take control and say, hey, I am smart. I don't need an external force or an external substance to get work done or do things. I can do it. And then I wound up getting a 4.0 in college.
Without it or
without it?
Without it.
Yeah.
You quit cold turkey?
Yeah.
Just one day?
Yeah, pretty much. When I transferred, I was like, I'm going to see what my brain can do if I force myself to focus and not
How
rely
long
on
did you been on it?
I had been on it about 2 years.
This is really significant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on prescription drugs that want to get off.
Yeah.
And we're not doctors. We're not recommending you do anything like that. But we are saying that if you're considering that, then there's a place to go for support emotionally.
100%.
And that would be you for sure. That group that you have. How does someone find out about that?
You just Google Club Bulletproof. That's called Club Bulletproof because I'm Bulletproof Mindset. Or you could just go on the link in my bio on my socials and then find my exclusive club.
Okay.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to catch up with you at another time. Thanks for being on today.
No problem.
Thank
you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Cowboy Boot Podcast. That was Nick Luciano. He is a member of the Tratter House. He has his own brand and he has an amazing club called Bulletproof Mindset. If you want to know more, make sure you go to the link in the bio and you can learn all about him. If you loved what you heard, make sure you like and share this podcast. I will talk to you soon.
Just remember, it's always cool to wear cowboy boots.